a special day, and I do want to thank our MCC family for joining in. I wish all of us could be here. We probably don't even have half, but obviously there's people manning and womening the ship. But our guest, none other than Gavin. I don't know why you confuse us with Bert, but it is Mark. And this is Andy, soon to be married. This is Mike and a Mike. So, but these folks are special to us in a lot of ways. And, you know, Mike is the, if you will, the father of MWA, the pioneer, the birther, if you will, of what we've known as SAP Business One and Forza. And, you know, that's really becomes the heart of a business, technologically speaking, when in everything that you do every day. Everything you do every day really is run through their systems, and you probably have no true idea of the pioneering effort you've been a part of, many of you, and some of you just extraordinarily so. But it's something that a vision Mike had, and to revolutionize and totally change the imaging channel, which it is starting to take off in a pretty significant way. Been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Mike basically cut his teeth in this industry, so knew a ton about it, and he was so appropriately skilled, if you will, and experienced to take on the endeavor. And then, of course, Gavin, who is really the representative VP of sales that sold us SAP, came in with visits with he and his wife, who were part of the team, and worked with us. And so it's been an incredible journey. It hadn't been easy, but nothing good is easy. But I can tell you this, it's been absolutely worthy. Through it, and through tough times, friendships are forged. Through tough times, relationships are made. Through difficulty, you know, I've always said in business, an unhappy customer is going to be your greatest customer, because it's not about the fact they were unhappy. It's what do you do when they get unhappy, and how do you resolve it? You create a bigger bond through those situations than you do a client that you never had a bad experience with. And those are the lasting ones. Those are the special ones. But I do want to publicly thank Mike and Gavin, particularly with MWA and Forza, and just what they've meant to this business. You guys aren't here every day, so you really can't appreciate the fact of what's going on behind the scenes, and some of the things that our people have developed that are because of the open architecture and the platform that we have, and an SDK that Gavin convinced us we needed, and rightfully so. It gave us the ability to take some of our skilled people, such as the Matt Nelsons and the Tim Blantons, and people that just really did some amazing things with it to help us. So, but you know what's neat about business, as the friendships you forge, but you also get to really peer in the very soul of the people you work with. You really get to find out what they're really made of. And one of the things that really became apparent to us is Mike is a man of great heart. And their ride today doesn't really have a lot to do with MWA or Forza or SAP Business One. It has to do with love. It has to do with a passion that starts deep. And that passion is for our military. Matter of fact, as I've grown older, and you look at the world stage, and you run into people like Mike and people that have had military experience, I've grown a deeper appreciation. In the large part, Mike kind of focused in my eyes, and some of the events that we've participated in the executive conference and the summit that they have in Scottsdale. And he's had some special guests there, like Jocko and Leif, who were platoon leaders and very decorated men, and amazing men that have done amazing things for this country. But I appreciate it. They're riding in honor of people that are missing in action. And I just ask you to pause for a minute and think about that. A lot of you are moms and dads, if not most of you are moms and dads, but all of you are sons and daughters. Just imagine somebody that's dear and precious to you, somebody that you wake up and are excited to see and look forward to hearing from, a FaceTime, a phone call, or maybe they live in the town with you. But imagine them just absolutely one day, you get a call, you get a news, you get the letter, they're missing, they're gone, and you have no idea where, you have no idea how, and you have no idea when they'll be back. If that doesn't make your eyes water up to think about, something is deeply dead inside of you. But I know it does, because we have an amazing group here. But that's who they're riding in honor of today, missing in action. They're riding in honor of and memory of prisoners of war, and certainly the men and women who are serving today. And you know, it's one thing, we get nervous to make a sales call. That becomes laughable when you consider the scale of economy there, and the life and death and peril and personal comforts. You know, we're such a blessed country, and personal comfort has become a pursuit of many. And but you imagine these folks volunteering to step out of a comfort zone into a war zone is pretty amazing. But there's another thing that's been put to this ride, and they've done a very noble and honorable thing. But there's a young lady named Jillian, and Jillian Gorman, and Mr. Gorman had been in the imaging channel industry for years. But his precious daughter, at the age of, I think it was 16 or 19, was diagnosed with a terminal illness. And they fought it for 4 or 5 years, and then ultimately she succumbed to that. But through these big hearts, through these compassionate minds, developed the Jillian Fund, which Mike's daughter, Jenna, was really instrumental in putting this together and bringing and breathing life into that. But they have raised, how many dollars did you guys raise last year, Mike?
Over 100.
Last year was $137,000.
$137,000. And what is, you know, if you're like me, a lot of times when money is being raised, you're skeptical, where is it going? And rightly so. But every dollar that's given to this is used in a very worthy way. Imagine you as a parent having a son or daughter with a terminal illness, and some of you have dealt with this. Some in our MCC family have dealt with this. Maybe not even terminal, but imagine something that was life-threatening. But many parents don't have the ability to be with their child while that child is going through that illness. And you know, they wanted to come up with a strategy and a plan to utilize the connections, utilize the business relationships, utilize just people who care, and come up with a plan to raise money that would allow parents to be by the side of their son or their daughter going through the worst days of their family life. So they've raised this money, and they helped, I think it was 80-some families last year. 80-plus families received money in assistance so they could be with the sweetest things in their life, your son and daughter. You know, so guys, I just want to thank you. I wouldn't know what to do on a motorcycle, but I feel kind of cool to say I got friends on motorcycles. So, but I just want to say thank you on behalf of myself and on behalf of Shane and behalf of the entire MCC family for what you're doing and what you've done. This is your fifth year of riding. This is potentially Mike's last year to ride, only because he has a daughter that cares deeply for him and says he's done after this year. But every year she says that, he shows up again. So, we appreciate the example. We appreciate the example of mixing business and commitment and dedication to love and people and caring. And this says, we have a slogan here at MCC, it's who we are. And when you look at that list, it's important to us that we align ourselves with people that we believe are like us. We don't apologize for who we are. And when people join us, we don't try to become like them. We want them to become like us. And we believe when we selected you guys as partners and vendors, we definitely aligned ourselves with people who are just like our family. And you know, whether I was in your office or you're in mine, I don't think you'd see much of a difference at all. But if you look at these things, professional, own your role, personally responsible, you seek out opportunities, you're experts, extreme ownership. The one on the bottom I personally like. None of us are as good as all of us, but we've accomplished some pretty amazing things over the years, and it's because we have selected some really amazing business partners. So, with no further ado, we have a check we'd like to present to you, and Mike, if you would come forward. From the MCC family to the Jillian Fund, just want to say thank you for riding, thank you for being a friend, and God bless you guys and stay safe. Amen.